Have you ever seen someone's cake decorating video and wonder how they got their buttercream so smooth? Yeah, me too. Making your own buttercream can be a struggle to get it just right, and I've struggled as well. But over the years, I've found ways to improve my own process. So in this video, I'm sharing my top tips for making perfect American buttercream every time. First, you'll want to make sure you're using the paddle attachment on your stand mixer and not the whisk. Using the whisk incorporates more air bubbles and doesn't give you a silky smooth finish. I've found that using this flex edge beater has helped a lot with getting smoother buttercream, so I definitely recommend this. This particular one is for a 6-quart stand mixer like the one I'm using, so just make sure when you're purchasing yours, purchase the right size for your mixer. For the butter, I like mine to be at room temperature. I've tried recipes that say to use cold butter, but I found that to be more difficult to mix and incorporate all of the ingredients together. This next step is where I like to take 5 to 10 minutes and beat the butter before I add any other ingredients. This not only helps the butter to lighten in color, but it also creates a silky and creamy butter foundation. And within this 5 to 10 minute process, I stop and wipe down the bowl at least twice to make sure all of the butter is getting properly incorporated. And I beat the butter on high speed at about a 7 or an 8. You'll know the butter is ready for the rest of the ingredients when it has a shiny, silky finish like this. I prefer using heavy whipping cream as opposed to milk. It creates a fluffier consistency, which I really like. And I start by adding 2 tablespoons into the butter first and whip it up again for about a minute. When choosing vanilla extract, opt for a clear extract to keep the color of the buttercream as bright white as possible. If you don't have access to clear, just be sure you're using a pure vanilla extract for the best flavor. You'll notice here I didn't have clear extract, so my buttercream starts to turn a bit brown, but that's okay because by whipping it at the end will help to lighten the color again. Now we're ready to add the powdered sugar, and for this recipe I use the entire 2-pound bag. I add the sugar slowly and not all at once for 2 reasons. 1, it helps to control the mess and prevents sugar from flying out of the bowl. I also pulse the mixer until enough of the sugar is incorporated and I know it won't fly out. The other reason I add a little at a time is so that I know the sugar isn't clumping and it's incorporating nicely into the butter. Then just repeat that until all of the sugar has been added. If the frosting starts to look a little dry while you're adding the sugar, you can add the 3rd tablespoon of heavy cream. At this point, once the sugar has all been incorporated, I'll wipe down the bowl again with a spatula to make sure there's no lingering sugar on the bottom of the bowl. The very last ingredient is a pinch of salt, which I'll add and then set the mixer on medium-high speed for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then I'll switch to a low speed for another 3 to 5 minutes to help smooth the frosting out. That's all done, I'll take off the bowl and mix it by hand to try and get the last few air bubbles out, and then you can press it against the sides of the bowl to really get a smooth consistency. After you're all done, you'll want your consistency to look like this, where the peak is a little stiff and not completely falling over. So those are my favorite tips that I use when making my frosting, and I hope these tips help you to perfect your American buttercream like it did for me.